in Chicago. We're doing it.
Hey, show is.
So, bestie trip 2022. Yeah. So we do a bestie trip every year. It started with road trips, and the last few years we've done like walkable cities. So last year we did Boston, this year Chicago, next year we have another one planned. Yeah, but here's our version of Chicago in a weekend.
Bye.
All right, so we have arrived in Chicago and we are excited to hit the ground running. But first things first, we are going to check into the hotel, drop off our luggage, and kind of like establish a game plan for what we're going to be doing. We are checking into the Hyatt Regency. It's on Wacker Drive, and it's the perfect location. We got recommendations from all of our friends before we left, and everyone said this was the hotel to stay at. So we listened. It is a couple blocks from the Navy Pier, Magnificent Mile, Millennium Park, where the Bean is, and it has tons of amenities too. It really is the perfect location to visit the entire city and be right in the middle of it, everything. Per usual, as soon as we land, we are starving, and so we needed something good to eat. But it was such a beautiful restaurant. The food was delicious, the waitress was amazing, and it was a great way to kick off our trip. Seeing the Millennium Cloud, aka the Bean, is one of those must-see things while in Chicago. It takes all of like 5 minutes to see it, and it's a great place to get that signature picture for Chicago.
Alright, so we found Cloudgate, aka the Bean. How cool!
Grab some ice cream while you're there too.
Alright, so Amanda told me absolutely no botanical gardens while on our trip, but I just found the prettiest flowers. Let me show you. Look at these. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, my region. Oh, look at this. I don't know what this is, so forgive me, but look how big that is. Stunning. so blue.
When we asked most people for the recommendations for the best deep dish pizza in Chicago, 9 out of 10 of them recommended this place, Giordano's. Something we learned while we were there are no peak times. This restaurant is booked all the time. So expect to wait for your table and then expect to wait for your pizza because it does take a while to cook a deep dish pizza. But promise me when I tell you it is worth it.
Good morning! So don't mind us just crossing the street. We're here for day 2 in Chicago on the bestie trip, and we've got some fun things planned. We are gonna go to breakfast first and foremost because we're starving, and then we have the river architecture cruise. We're gonna take the riverboat down the river, and then we're gonna do 360 Chicago. So we're gonna go up and get some great views of the whole city, and then I don't know.
Rest.
Yeah, we're just winging it after that.
Also, it's 70 degrees.
It's amazing.
Back in Texas.
Yeah. It was like 97 at home, and we woke
Without
up.
the sun.
Yeah, without the sun. And today it's 70 and sunny and glorious. Perfect touristy day. Yes, we are. But first breakfast.
Than I thought it was going to be. The views from the Navy Pier are just stunning. The pier is a 3,300-foot long pier on the shoreline of Lake Michigan in the Streeterville neighborhood of Chicago. Built in 1916, this area has seen a ton of growth over the last century and is a great place to spend a few hours or a whole day. There's rides and attractions, cafes, shops, cruise tours, and even a children's museum. You can even spot a lighthouse not too far off from shore.
Travel really well together. Like, we're both up to adventure and try foods and go all the places, but we've been on trips with other people, right, where they didn't really want to do the same things we want to do, and that's fine, but just know who you're going on a trip with before you go, because you'll have more fun. Like, we have a blast. Like, yes, there's things that maybe she wants to do that I'm like, I don't really care, and I'll do it, and maybe things that I want to do and she's like, I don't really care, but we compromise and it works out great.
It's best if you get somebody who plans the whole thing and you just pay your part.
Well, there you go. You're welcome.
That's my jam.
You're whatever.
Appreciate you.
We plan together.
Look, I just wanted to see baseball. That was it.
And we will. There's a full bar on boat, as well as restrooms if you need it. We learned that the skyscraper was actually founded in Chicago. So these people really know how to build a skyscraper, and they're always pushing the envelope on making them better and stronger and taller and more efficient. This tour included lots of interesting facts and
historical points and things to see. I would say this is a total must when visiting Chicago.
Sarcastic, which we love, and so it was great, like really informative and interesting and a lot of fun. But next we are walking to the Hancock Center for 360 Chicago. It is the 5th tallest building in Chicago, so you know that's not really that big a deal, but the top of it has some great views of the city. And we also learned from Becky that on the 95th floor there's a free bar you can go to, so you don't want to pay to go to the top, go to the bar on the 95th.
One item minimum.
Yep, one item.
Michigan on one side and then the city's skyscrapers on the other. This is well worth the money to go 1,000 feet above the street level. There's also something at the observation deck called tilt. This is a unique way of seeing just how high up you are by standing on a platform that gradually tilts forward until you're staring all the way down the side of the building. The people doing it seem to be having a lot of fun, but the line to do it just wasn't for me. Plus, that view from the top really couldn't be beat. It's absolutely gorgeous. You will want to check the weather before you go, though. If it's cloudy, you most likely won't be able to see anything below you. Every single person we told we were going to Chicago told us we had to eat at Portillo's. So when a restaurant comes with that high of praise, you listen. We got there around 2 p.m. or so, and the line was almost out the door. Portillo's is known for their Chicago hot dogs and their Italian beef with sweet pepper sandwich. I didn't try the hot dog, but their Italian beef sandwich was out of this world delicious. And whatever is in that sauce that they put on it is heavenly.
It is 72 degrees and perfect, which in the middle of August, what? We're loving it. We're loving every single sunny, beautiful, windy day here. But today, the day is all about baseball. My best friend Amanda, so me, is a huge baseball there we go, day 3. And we are gonna do a bus tour today. We figured out that it's probably the easiest way to see all the things you want to see because it's a hop on, hop off bus. So you get off where you want to see things and then you stay on if you don't. But they give you facts and information all along the way, and we're gonna show you all of it. Alright, double-decker bus, here we come.
Oh.
One stop in and we already got off. But that was a plan all along. First stop was at Skydeck, which we weren't planning on going up into Skydeck, but Union Station is about 2 blocks away, and so we decided to stop here and look at it, and I can't wait to show you.
Built in 1925, Union Station altogether takes up about 10 city blocks. You can board a train to locations both near and far, and the Great Hall inside is just stunning. The Great Hall has a 219-foot long barrel vaulted skylight that soars 115 feet above the floor. While it is a working train station, its beauty has captured the attention of those in Hollywood, as Union Station has been used in movies like My Best Friend's Wedding and The Untouchables. Almost 20 years ago in New York City. And if I can recommend anything to do in Chicago, it's this. Basically, with the bus tour, you're driven around to the landmarks in the city and have certain stops the bus makes along the way. While you ride, you listen via headphones to the history of the places around you, and it makes for a really great drive. Once you arrive at a bus stop, you can either choose to jump off and look around and stay, or keep on the ride and go on to the next destination. Buses will come every 30 minutes to the stop, so whenever you're done exploring that area that you're at, you just jump on the next bus that shows up. We got to see places like the Willis Tower, Chicago Picasso, Soldier Field, Adler Planetarium, Shedd Aquarium, the Field Museum, and all sorts of things that we didn't have to walk through.
bus tour and we figured out one very important thing. Everything that we saw yesterday, we could have seen via bus instead of walking.
You didn't have to walk 22,000 steps.
No, we didn't. So there's a good tip for you.
You have to try and kill me.
You were in it with me just as much, so whatever. But so yeah, if there's different things you want to see, it's probably along the bus route, and you hop on, hop off whenever you want to. Are you excited?
Yes. Very much. It's another ballpark off my list.
Yes. How many have you been to now?
Many will be, well, been to both Arlington, Anaheim, Seattle, Oakland, of course, Minute Maid, the Dome.
get to experience a meeting.
Looking for something to do that's free in Chicago? I highly recommend walking down the Riverwalk and seeing all the sights from down by the river. If you're close to the merchandise mart in the evening, you'll want to grab a seat across from the mart for their nightly show called Art on the Mart. This 4 billion square foot building originally housed some of the biggest names in retail and now puts on a lights and sound show every evening after dark, which is 9 p.m. in the summer. The show is about 30 minutes long and it repeats itself once just in case you missed the earlier show. It's really cool and definitely a must-see.